This is the Kona Edge, the home of Ironman triathletes who dream of qualifying for the World Championships on the Big Island.
This is the Kona Edge, and joining us once again, Richard Murray. It's a snippet of an online seminar we did at thekonaedge.com. If you'd like to register for the next one, all you need to do is get to the website, thekonaedge.com. On this snippet, Richard Murray, who's currently ranked 4th in the World Triathlon Series rankings, talks about the 3 things that he says age groupers should focus on to get their swim performance improved. Also talks about some of the tools he uses in the pool and what you should be using as well, and then how you can benefit from drafting in the water. Richard tells us exactly what you should be doing to get all the benefit you can in the swim. That's all coming up next. Don't forget, if you'd like to join the Kona Edge, all you need to do is head over to thekonaedge.com/join.
Richard, Kerry wants to know, she's saying obviously different coaches emphasize different things in the swim. She's trying to figure out the top 3 things to focus on. And she's obviously consistency and time in the pool, she's assuming would be one of them. What else would you say? I mean, what are the top 3 things you would recommend sort of age groupers and from various sort of abilities? What would the top 3 things be that they should focus on in the pool?
Okay, the top 3 things. Well, I think hand entry is a real important one, not just for injury prevention, but obviously for the efficiency of your stroke. So trying to keep your hands, imagine if you're in the diving position and you literally have the hands right above your head, not crossing the middle of your head. That position is how you want your hands to enter when you start the front part of your stroke. If you can try and find someone, as even a coach or something, and you can join those guys and ask someone to take a look at your hand entry or to those things to make sure that that's straight, that would be the first bet and would be a great way in improving your swimming. And then obviously, for people that don't have coaches and that are trying to improve in swimming themselves, I can vouch for it. You need to have people there. There's got to be someone there watching it, seeing what you're doing and telling you that you need to certainly change things, because, even the top best swimmers in the world have things that they can improve on and that believe they can improve on as well. So I think that's another really, really big one. And I think the back end of your stroke, a lot of people don't realize that, the back end is pretty much where most of your power comes from the stroke. The front end can, you can lose efficiency, but if you're not pushing all the way through at the back end of your stroke, you're losing all of that power. So it's like having a massive engine and only using, say, 10% of your revs. You want to be able to use all of them and push it all the way through to the back. So I think, obviously, the first one will be hand entry being wide. Taking a look at finding a coach, someone that can assist you with it, and obviously the back end, the pushing through of your stroke.
Awesome stuff. Richard, another question from Kerry. She wanted to know, what tools would you recommend, like pool buoys, paddles, fins, etc. What do you use, and what would you recommend age groupers use to get better in the water?
Yeah, I think I was just about to say I'm a great fan of toys, but that would have sounded a little bit ambiguous. There's definitely, I'm a big fan of the pool buoy. Also, depending on the days, if the legs are pretty broken and I'm battling to get through my swim session of swimming, I'll put the pool buoy in to save the legs a tiny bit. That's pretty good to do if you can do more of a strength-based shoulder session. So you put that pool buoy in. Also, some paddles. I've got a nice set of those Finnis paddles, which you literally just stick your thumb through, and it forces you to keep the water, the pressure downwards, because if you don't keep the pressure downwards, it actually slides off your hand. So which helps actually keeping the water moving the correct direction. And you want the water to go behind you. A lot of people are pushing down with the front of their hands. If you enter your hand needs to point backwards as soon as you can to get the water moving in that general direction. And obviously with the breathing, that's the thing. You end up pushing down to get your head up. So when your hand wants to enter, you automatically want to get your hand into a position where it's pointing backwards, and then you want to actually move all that water directly straight behind you.
Cool question, and this is obviously something that's pretty important at the front end of the field where you race, but for the guys and girls who do the sort of Ironman races where drafting is not allowed on the bike, you need to try and get as much advantage as you can in the water. Kerry wanted to know, have you got any particular tricks or techniques for drafting in open water? How do you go about it? What would you suggest people do in order to get the maximum benefit from drafting in the water?
Yeah, I think that's that's an interesting one that took me a couple of years to get right. I mean, I'm still working on trying to figure out how the guys' tactics are, because in our racing, the the better the swimmer, the more they realize how to actually move or to try and get you out of their draft, so that you don't get that benefit sometimes. But it's definitely, to be able to swim as close as you can on someone's hips. So imagine your shoulder can be pretty close to someone's ankles while they're swimming. Just that type of point is where you want to be. So their hand literally pushes through, and your hand almost enters where their hand exits. Just slightly behind that, say on the left. I prefer to be to the left of someone because I can actually sight and see them while I'm swimming next to them. And that helps a little bit by, judging how close I am to them, because I breathe to the right while I'm swimming as hard as I can. That helps with, obviously, then being on the left-hand side on that person's hip. And that saves a lot of people. It took me quite a while to realize the amount of energy you can save being in that sweet spot. And even if I need to go into the red to actually get to that point, it's worth, doing that to get there.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Kona Edge. If you want to improve your swim, be sure to check out our next free live online swim seminar. Get to thekonaedge.com/swim seminar to sign up now.